From the students of Penn State Meteorology, here is your Penn State Campus Weather Service forecast.
Good morning. I'm Penn State student meteorologist Connor Freidhoff here with your morning forecast. Take a look at Beaver Stadium. The sun just peeking over the horizon. Temperatures off to a sluggish start. We're sitting at about 46 degrees right now in terms of wind. Not much to speak of. Dew points making the air a bit dry this morning, but we are going to see quite a warm up today. For much of the state today, we do see us hanging around in the mid to upper 40s, most places seeing anywhere from 46 to 48 degrees here in the Commonwealth. We bring it out to just the rest of the area. We see again just these areas of 40s. Up in Bradford it's 42, down in Johnstown it's 48. So just hanging around the 40s unless you're in a bit of a warmer area. You could see the temperatures crack 50 before we get to sunrise. On the national side, we see temperatures mainly entering a certain pattern like you see here, warmer in the southeast and much colder in the Intermountain West. But as we will talk about later, this pattern is expected to make quite a drastic change moving into the next week. In terms of 24-hour temperature change, much of the state experiencing at least some double-digit increases in temperature, especially here in State College. You see a 16-degree increase, as is the same in Johnstown. It's plus 17 over in Pittsburgh, and over in Williamsport is a 9-degree increase. And that is pretty much paramount for the rest of the eastern United States, and that stretches all the way down to the lower Mississippi Valley, where we see parts of Arkansas, Missouri, and Tennessee getting up above 10 degrees what they were yesterday. And it was already fairly warm yesterday, so the heat is expected to pile on. And we are expecting a pattern shift as well in terms of temperature, where we have the west finally getting some of those warmer temperatures. So in the southwest, it's going to be balmy and in some places quite miserable when all that heat. But over here in the east, we also have the chance of some above average temperatures as we go into next week, as we make our way through April. For the radar and satellite, not too much to speak of, just a few stray showers if you're up near the New York state line. Mainly we think about to talk about is a stationary front bringing all this rain, this precipitation here into parts of Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, and stretching out through Toronto, New York, and then into New England. Go over to the west here, we see some snow showers mainly affecting the parts of the Dakotas, moving up into central Minnesota. Now the big thing to talk about today, of course, is more severe weather, as we know, folks out in the Mississippi Valley, mainly in Iowa, Illinois, down to Missouri and Arkansas, just haven't been able to catch a break, and unfortunately, that is the same case today. SPC indicating a 4 out of 5 or a moderate risk, mainly for the areas you see here up in Iowa, Missouri, and Illinois, and down here into southern Missouri. That stretches all the way through central Arkansas, just barely getting a little bit of Oklahoma in there. The main threat for storms today mainly comes from wind and hail, but of course their tornado threat all is going to persist. Enhanced risk of 3 out of 5 for a fairly large swath of the nation. Slight risk as well, 2 out of 5. Pretty much even if you're just in a 1 out of 5, you have to be vigilant. We will expect some thunderstorms in our region on Wednesday. And with those storms Wednesday, but before we get there, of course, we have just to contend with some cloudy skies as we make our way through Tuesday. But then Wednesday, we start to see some squall lines develop as the atmospheric instability over Pennsylvania is going to increase as the day goes on. You have the odd chance of a squall line developing. The northern tier of the state is expected to get much of the precipitation, but as we get towards midnight, towards the end of the day, is where we see potential for some dangerous squall lines to make their way through and to have some quick fire rain showers for the region. That will continue up into Thursday morning and possibly all the way into Thursday afternoon, depending on your position within the Commonwealth. Clouds do move out by the end of Thursday and into Friday. Now, looking more of at a national scope, there's a low pressure system all the way up here in Canada that is pretty much the driving force for this area. Along these showers, you can see a cold front start to develop and propagate eastward. Is where we have these rain showers, rain and thunderstorms make their way through, and they make their way through fairly quickly. But it's going to be sort of like a couple rounds of thunderstorms making their way through. But as we get into Friday, just some clouds we have to contend to, and as well as the rest of the weekend, it's mainly going to be cloudy. Basically, a battle between clouds and sun throughout the weekend. Now, in terms of rain totals, this is just one model run, but it is showing a lot more rain showers in the northwest part of the state, stretching up into central southern New York. Mainly Du Bois getting 1.75 inches compared to the rest of the area. And here in State College, we're only about expected to get 0.2 of an inch. But this could change as we get further into, or at least into tomorrow. Of course, model runs do change, especially when it comes to precipitation. But as of right now, it's the northwest parts of the Pittsburgh metro that are expected to get the most amounts of rain because of this system. Now today, temperatures are going to shoot up into the 70s. It's going to feel more like May 4th as opposed to April 4th as we reach 73. But it is going to be a fairly cloudy day. We will have a breeze from time to time coming out of the southwest. Now getting into the evening, we do have a chance of showers here and there. It's only about 20%, so I wouldn't count on it. And if it does rain, it's going to be fairly light, over within half an hour. No more, no less. Not too much in terms of precipitation with some variable winds. Now tomorrow is the big picture, 77 degrees. It's going to be some deceptive warmth because the whole time that the sun is out and we're experiencing those mid-70s above average temperatures, that is going to be fueling instability in the atmosphere. We have these thunderstorms making their way in through the region after noon. It'll be just a couple of rounds of showers. It won't be very persistent. It may be around the thunderstorms, then back to some sun, more thunderstorms. It's going to be an off and on type of pattern, and the winds could get fairly rough tomorrow as well. For the 7-day, we have temperatures hanging out in the 70s, and they do make a bit of a retreat down into the 60s on Thursday and as we get into the weekend. But after Thursday, after that chance of some AM showers, we do see temperatures sort of balance out to the 50s and 60s, and not too much of a rain threat as we go through the weekend and we enter the next week. From the Penn State Campus Weather Service, I'm meteorologist Connor Freidhoff, wishing you a wonderful day.